Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. I'm Ashish, I'll be your trainer today. I have over 20 years of experience into information security and I have trained more than 500, 600 students over the last decade. I worked with prestige companies like Microsoft, Oracle and Snowflake in the past in their information security groups. So today I'm here going to show you why CISM is the gold standard of information security leaders. So to start with, I want to let you know that CISM won SC Awards in 2025. SC Awards are from SC Media, which the award present to the prestige cybersecurity certification programs. And it beat CISSP and CEH, etc. in 2025. So it is very prestigious certifications to attain. So since 2002, over 1 lakh or 100,000 professionals certified CISM, and that's why it's very much in demand. It is accredited by ISO 17024. This is the same standard that accredits medical and legal certifications as well. CISM is also accepted by US Department of Defense. So I can't wait to make you deep dive into why it is a gold standard of information security. Let's move to the next slide. So this is the agenda slide where I'll be covering today. We'll start with a quick overview of CISM and then deep dive into the 4 domains. See how real incidents like CrowdStrike map to CISM and end with the live questions walkthrough. Okay, so to begin with, let me ask, on July 19th, 2024, 8.5 million computers crashed simultaneously due to a bug in CrowdStrike endpoint. I'm pretty sure everybody remembers that time, those blue screens all over the place. Almost every sector got hampered. 8.5 million is a huge number. So my question to you is, who was prepared? Who was not prepared? That exactly what CISM teaches you. Okay. So CISM is the Certified Information Security Manager program, globally recognized, and it's a certification by ISACA, where it quantifies not the technical aspects, but it actually helps you to maintain the management aspects of information security. CISM is not a technical certification, it is for managers. If CISSP asks how to implement a firewall, then CISM asks why, where, and what about that? CISM holders lead security programs. So CISM puts a huge impact on professional careers. So what is the ROI of spending a lot many time to prepare for CISM and attaining the certification? So it has been reported that improvement of 70% on the job, 42% hike in the pay raise, and in the US, the average salary for a CISM holder is close to $150,000, so which is huge. So as I touched earlier, CISM is for managers. So who generally takes CISM? It's CISOs, IT directors, security managers, risk officers, or consultants to talk to the management. So CISM is recognized by US DoD, Department of Defense, and required for certain government rules. So that makes CISM professionals always into the market limelight. If you want to lead security teams and talk to the board, CISM is your certification. So my question to you is, how many of you currently report security matrices to senior management? That's exactly what CISM prepares you for. Okay, so Not sure when will the next CrowdStrike is coming. Will you be ready to lead? Ask this question to yourself before you start preparation for Presido. Cool. Let's move to the next slide. So here I'm going to do a deep dive on the, 4 CISM domain. So the exam has 150 questions, 4 hours, and passing marks are 450. And the first domain is information security governance, which is 17% of the exam. Risk management is the second domain, which is 20% of the exam. Information security program is a huge domain, and it has 33% accumulation in the exam. And the last one is incident management, 30% in the exam. So I want to highlight that 2 domains, third and fourth, constitutes 63% of your exam. So if you master these 2, you can consider yourself that you are more than halfway there. So ISACA weighs the program and incident management to highest because that's what security managers day-to-day jobs. Governance is the foundation. It's a 17%. It's smallest, but it sets the direction for everything else. Risk management is the language you talk to the CXO in the boardroom. So I want to ask, which domain do you think is the most relevant to your current role? Let's deep dive to the domain 1. So there are 2 pillars: enterprise governance, information security strategy. Enterprise governance is to ensure your organization care about security at the top level. Organization culture is to ensure security is seen as a enabler rather than a blocker. Security shouldn't be seen as a blocker. So it's about legal and regulations. Which regulation applies to your org? Is it GDPR, HIPAA, SOX, PCI DSS? So it's about that. Organization structure is very important here for governance. So where does the CISO sit? Does it report to CEO, CTO, or CIO? Yes, it matters. So regarding the security strategy, do you have a plan? Not just the tools. It's all about the strategic roadmap of the information security for the next 3 to 5 years. And your roadmap should align with the organization business strategy. Which frameworks the organization relies on? COBIT for governance, ISO 27001 for ISMS, or NIST, cybersecurity framework for risk. So let's discuss business case here. How do you justify a 2 million security budget to your CFO? So ask this question to yourself. How will you justify 2 million security budget to CFO? So this is all about, alignment of the business. If a question asks about alignment with business, it is domain 1. Governance will come into play. And as a real world example, after SolarWinds incident, most of you might remember the SolarWind incidents of 2020. Many boards created dedicated cyber committees, and that's domain 1 in action. So let's move to the next domain. So here you see there are 4 sub areas to information security risk management. So what are those? Identify, assess, respond, monitor. So it's all about risk identification. What threats exist? What's new? So nowadays your threatscape landscape involves including AI threats, supply chain, cloud. So basically risk identification is looking for the threat landscape or attack surface to identify the risk. The second one is the risk assessment. It can be qualitative, like high, medium, low, those severities, or it can be qualitative, like ALE, SLE, ARO, annual rate of occurrence, annualized loss expectancy, single loss expectancy. We'll cover that in the risk assessment part. After it is assessed, now it is time to response the risk. So regarding the risk response, Remember 4 T's: treat, which is about mitigate; transfer, it is about transfer the risk to outsource to some insurance; tolerate means accept it; terminate means avoid it. So 4 T's, remember this. That's about the risk response. And yes, always remember that risk acceptance must be by your senior management, not the security team. Okay. So regarding the risk monitoring, see, it needs to be continue monitoring the risk for any organization. There should be key risk indicators, dashboards, continuous assessments, right? So remember, CISM always wants you to communicate risk in business teams. So in terms of business, it can be in dollars, probability, business impact, but never in technical CVE numbers. Board members always understands dollars, probability, and business impact. So as a real world example, on CrowdStrike incident, CrowdStrike was a third party risk that most organizations had not quantified. Be honest, how many had the endpoint vendor failure in their risk register? That's the question to information security team. So that's domain 2 in action. Okay, so let's deep dive in the domain 3, which is the information security program. So this is the biggest domain in CISM, and of course 33% of exam. So there are two pillars. One is program development and then program management. So program development means building the program, identify assets, asset classification, policies, standards. You cannot protect that you don't know you have, right? So asset inventory first. So you need to understand your assets. So program management is all about running the program day to day. But before that, you should have a program. So you should have policies, standards, procedures, guidelines, everything, right? So in the program management, you have the control selection must be risk based and cost effective. It shouldn't be like buy everything, right? There should be a cost effective or cost benefit analysis, ROI analysis. So there should be security awareness training as well. The human layer comes into play. Remember, 90% breaches are starting with phishing when somebody clicks on a malicious link in the email. So then it comes third-party vendor management, like SolarWinds showed up, and it teaches us why this matters. Fourth one here in the program management comes into matrices. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. You need to be better day by day in a growing fashion. So you need to show those matrices to your board. That's about the program management, right? So I want to share that this domain tests whether you can build and run a program, not just have on a paper that we have an information security program. How deeply you know about building a program and managing the program, right? So think about the SDLC, DevSecOps, change management, shift left security. Security is embedded in the business or maybe embedded at the design level. It shouldn't be bolted on, right? So just think about what is the one metric you had used to show your board that security investment is working. You have to understand these matrices. So that's about the information security program domain. So next one is the incident management, very close to my heart. So domain 4 focus on incident management readiness and incident management operations. Readiness is about to be ready. The time to write your incident response plan is not when you are already breached or you are sitting in the incident. It is to plan before that. So that's about the readiness. It is about incident response plan development and testing via tabletop exercises, via red team drills. So it is about BCP, DRP, business continuity plan and disaster recovery plan, BIA, business impact analysis, RTO, recovery time objective, RPO, recovery point objective. So it is about the communication plan as well. Who will call the CEO? Who will call the media? Who will talk to the customers? Who will notify the regulators? It is also about how you classify the incidents. What are the severities? So what triggers the crisis management team? Should it be SAV 3, SAV 2, SAV 1, SAV 2.5? You need to define it. So in the incident management operations, which is like using the incident management plan in action. So that's about covering the incident response process, detection, triage, containment, eradication, recovery, and after recovery, what happens? Lesson learned. It is about the evidence preservation, chain of custody for legal and forensic needs. The post-incident review is very, very important. Root cause analysis. So remember, CISM loves lesson learned. If a question asks what to do after recovery, it is always post-incident review. In the real world example, uh, in 2017, Maersk rebuilt close to 50,000 machines in 10 days after NotPetya outbreak. That's the BCP in action. They had good people, but their plans had gaps. So I want you to think about what was the last security incident your organization faced and which domain would have helped there? Obviously, incident management, that's a domain for. Okay, as now you are aware of some of the artifacts around CISM certification, so let's spend some time on the real case studies. So that's where, you connect theory to reality, right? So in the CrowdStrike outage in July 2024, a single content update crashed 8.5 billion machines and costed like more than 5 billion USD. So just think like which domain failed here? Trust me, all four. So governance, change the policies, risk the vendor dependency, program, no staged rollout, incident, no, there was no BCP activation. All of a sudden, everything got blue screen. So what are the key lessons from here? What I learned from CrowdStrike outage was like your security tool vendor can be a huge risk. Okay, so let's move to the SolarWinds. In December 2020, hackers lived inside 18,000 organizations for 9 months undetected, kind of advanced persistent threat. If FireEye hadn't been breached themselves, we might still not know. Right? Internal monitoring was not enough in this case. Right? So let's talk about the which domain failed here. So definitely for me, it is domain 3 because there was no integrity verification to software supply chain. Supply chain comes under domain 3. So let's talk about the Maersk NotPetya outbreak. In June 2017, it was a 10 billion USD in damage from a tax software update in Ukraine. So what was the key lesson learned? Geopolitical risk, because at that time Russia war was going on as well. Geopolitical risk is a real risk. Mask and IT team became legendary, rebuilt from scratch, everything in 10 days, amazing. But also they learned that there were gaps in the BCP. So which domain got failed or got success? I think because they were able to rebuild everything in 10 days, it was domain 4 success. They had good people to execute, right? So just think about these 3 incidents. You have a lot to learn. So which of these incident would have been in your organization risk register before it happened? Ask this question as a information security leaders. Always there is a learning curve, but if you are already have that CISM acumen, you will update your risk registers. Cool. Let's talk about the exam details. The format is like 150 multiple choice questions, 4 hours, passing marks 450. The cost of the Saka members is $575, otherwise $760 for non-members. You can attain the Saka membership. I recommend that at $135 per year. So what is the eligibility? Generally, this is the question asked by my students. So it is about 5 years of information security management experience in at least 3 of the 4 domains. But you can take the exam first and submit the experience in 5 years of passing as well. Okay, there are some substitutions as well. If you are already CISA or CISSP certified, you get 2 years of credit. If you have a master degree in information security, 2 years of credit. Other security certifications, 1 year. So realistically, 2-3 years of actual experience, maybe a certification or degree can qualify you. Okay. So yes, you need to maintain your certification. You need to have continually professional education CPEs. You spend 20 hours a year after you attain the certification, and total 120 hours to get yourself updated on the different domains, incidents, information security education. So that will help you to maintain your certification. Okay, so this is the meat of the session. So let's go through a couple of sample questions. Okay. So I have also added answers there as well, but let's focus on the question first. Like, your organization discovers a data breach affecting 10,000 customer records. As an information security manager, what should be your first action? Is it to immediately notify all the affected customers? Should it be activate the incident response plan, assemble the response team, engage law enforcement authorities, or begin the forensic investigation of the compromised systems? So obviously, if there is a breach which has just been discovered, we need to contain it. In order to contain it, we need to execute or activate the incident response plan, and the answer is the B. So question 2 from domain 1, the most important reason for an information security manager to understand the organization's business objective is to, why you want to understand the organization business objective, even though you are particularly focusing on its security posture management? Is it because identifying technical vulnerabilities in business processes, allocate budget for security tools and technologies? Should it be ensure the security strategy supports business goals, or development of compliance report for regulatory authorities? I think it is self-explanatory. I already covered in the domain 1 slide as well. Ensure the security strategy supports business goals. Okay. So with this, we are towards the end of the demo. So you need to master 5 steps if you want to attain CISM certification. Those are in front of you. Learn, practice, schedule, pass, and certify. I recommend some study resources like CISM Review Manual, 16th edition, ISACA online review course, QoE database from ISACA, which has more than 1,000 questions. So generally people ask like, what should be the study duration? Most people need 3 to 6 months of consistent study, 2-3 hours a day. So again, my recommendation is to focus on domain 3 and domain 4. Those are 63% of your exam, and think like a manager. Generally, the most technical answer is wrong. You need to think like a manager. CISM holders manages the CSSP holders. Okay. So always try to tie a real world incident to a particular domain or particular concept because stories stick better than just definitions. Do at least 500 plus practice questions before the exam day. I recommend to join ISACA engage study groups as well. That's free for members. And remember, you can take the exam even without full experience. Pass first, then build the experience over the next 5 years. We already covered the cost investment, that is $575 for members, $760 for non-members. Study materials, official study material will cost you around $400. So overall, it's a $1,100 investment, and the ROI is huge. Average 42% salary hike, average salary of $150, $150,000 in US. And if you compare, that's a massive return. Okay. So I look forward you to join the program, training program in action. And I would love to share more real world stories from my previous experiences as I have been into multiple organizations as well. And looking forward to share my knowledge with all of you. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm signing off and looking forward to your participation. Thank you.